A girl called Lex on TikTok posted a video discussing some rules within her relationship. To condense the video, the relationship allows strangers to buy drinks even under sexual or romantic intention, as it saves money. The boyfriend a waiter to flirt with customers if he believes it would result in more tip money, having Snapchat streaks with the opposite sex, verbalizing physical attraction to unattainable people such as celebrities, but not those within their personal lives. The response to these rules are overwhelmingly unsupportive. Commenters claim that the relationship Lex has with her partner is effectively a friendship or business-driven.
The first super controversial thing that I know does not fly probably in a lot of relationships is that my boyfriend and I have agreed I am allowed to accept free drinks from other guys at the bar even if he's not there. Of course, there are boundaries and ways to do it correctly, but basically we just think like if a guy approaches me and asks like, can I buy you a drink? I'm saving like $13 to $15 depending on what bar I'm at, sometimes even more. And honestly, it's being financially responsible. This obviously comes with like an immense amount of trust between us, and so that's why it works. And obviously I am never giving someone my number or doing anything at all, leaving with them. Like no, like obviously none of that, but I am absolutely allowed to accept free drinks. Like if anyone offers to buy me a drink, yeah, absolutely. Like if I'm out at the bar and it does happen, I'll literally text him in the moment and be like, oh my god, I just got a free drink. And he's like, no way, what are you getting? I know a lot of people would hate that, but it works for us and I save a lot of money. The next one is on the same vibe, and he is a waiter and he is allowed to flirt within reason to get more tips. So what this means basically is like if there is a table of like girls or something and maybe they're drinking and they're kind of flirting with him, he's allowed to flirt back in order to get that back. And this has led to a lot of numbers left on the receipt, like a lot. It's getting excessive at this point, but obviously he's never texted a single one of them, and he sends me a picture of the receipt like right away and he's like, LOL, like another number, look how funny. And I'm just like, you better have gotten that 30% tip. The thing is, it typically does work. He will secure that 25-30% tip, and I'm like, there you go. And guess what, we're using that tip money and he's buying me dinner, so like outstanding, thank you. Okay, the next one I really don't even think is controversial, but I know other people are gonna think it is that he has a snap streak with my best girlfriend, like my best friend ever, and they Snapchat and they're literally besties and I love it. Again, she's been my best friend since we were in like 6th, 7th grade, and she is a doll and is the most incredible human ever, and like nothing would ever happen, and he's so incredible and nothing would ever happen. But I know people are weird about their friends being close with their boyfriends. Like I know that's a controversial topic. I know people are gonna be like, girl, they're cheating, blah 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 blah. No, they're not. And the last thing is that we have no problem talking about like how hot a celebrity is that's on the show we're watching or whatever, like, or Kendall Jenner on Instagram. Like, I don't know, we just like do not care. We never have. I will fully be like, oh my god, Bradley Cooper, he is so steamy, I can't, like, look at him, oh my god, look at him, like watching a movie. I'll be like, no, I know, he's such a good looking man. Or we were watching Footloose yesterday, and Julian Huff, oh god, I don't know, whatever, the way she's dancing, I literally was like, oh my god, and he's like, she is crazy. I was like, I know, like, oh my god, I was drooling over her, like, understandably so. Neither of us like care. I don't know, we never have. I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, that's so rude to like say in front of your partner, but we just don't care about it. It doesn't bother us. I don't know, like if it bothered him, we wouldn't do it, or if it bothered me, I'm sure we wouldn't, but like both of us are just on the same page of like, yeah, that is an extremely attractive human being. I feel like acknowledging that, like, even though you're in a relationship, you can still acknowledge that like other humans are attractive without obviously acting on it, or I don't know, I think it's okay. The rule basically is like, you can say that person's attractive if they're completely unobtainable. So like a A-list celebrity, like don't say that about your friend's girlfriend. That is someone obtainable, someone in our circle, the barista. That barista is technically obtainable because she's in front of you. You could technically hit on her. Like, I'm never running into Bradley Cooper. It's never happening. I don't know. That's what works for us. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. And obviously, I can't believe I even have to say this, but every single relationship is completely different and has their own sets of challenges, and people feel differently about everything. So this is just what works for us. This does not need to work for anybody else.
Quote, y'all are just friends at this point. The response to me seems unwarranted given how tame these rules are, leading to a more heavy topic on the mass opinion on polyamory and ethical non-monogamy. Polyamory, derived from the ancient Greek word for many and the Latin word for love, is defined as the practice of romantic relationships with more than one partner at the same time, with the informed consent of all partners involved. Ethical non-monogamy is an umbrella term for a similar dynamic where all involved partners give informed consent to have more than one romantic and/or sexual relationship. In recent years, these practices have become more visible and discussed in mainstream society and are often met with misunderstanding and stigma. I believe, as someone in a monogamous relationship, that when practiced correctly, ethical non-monogamy should not be frowned upon, as these relationships are only relevant to those involved. The negative perception of ethical non-monogamy often stems from closed-mindedness, jealousy, and negative past experiences with cheating. Non-monogamous dynamics are rooted in principles of honesty, transparency, and mutual respect, and prioritize communication and consent. These are important values to uphold in any kind of relationship, so to have one that makes sure to emphasize these points given the nature of said relationship, it is not a natural recipe for disaster like many seem to think. This commitment to openness and honesty distinguishes ethical non-monogamy from infidelity, where deceit and lack of consent are prevalent. Despite these principles, non-monogamous relationships are often stigmatized. Many view them through a moral judgment, often equating them to promiscuity or lack of commitment. Public shaming of those practicing these relationship styles are not uncommon. Such negative reactions arise from a lack of understanding and deep-seated society norms that highlight monogamy as the only acceptable form of romantic relationship. Other reasons for the commitment of a non-monogamous relationship include exploring one's sexuality without forfeiting a primary lover, alleviating the pressure to have one person meet all needs, experiencing higher levels of satisfaction by sharing more love with more people. None of these reasons are invalid or deserving of discredit. Society tends to uphold monogamy as a standard, making it difficult for some to understand or accept alternatives. This rigidity can lead to unfair judgments or dismissals of alternative relationship styles as invalid or immoral. Embracing diverse relationship structures that consenting partners have enthusiastically agreed upon requires empathy, a shift in perspective, and an openness to different experiences of love and intimacy. Jealousy is another contributing factor to the negative perception of monogamy. Many struggle with the idea of sharing a partner's affection and attention with others, often projecting their fears and insecurities on others. This projection can be seen in the pass the phone trend, where a girl and her group of friends make a lighthearted video making comments on the girl's boyfriend's new haircut. The joke being that it looks similar to his hair before getting it cut. The phone reaches the last friend, who places the camera lower than the others, showing her cleavage.
It's definitely a haircut.
I think it looks good, a little long in the back.
In the front too, but I think it looks good.
Hey, dude, honestly, I think your hair looks good.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide!
Honestly, when I grew up in the farm, we all had our haircuts like that. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Anyways, it's not the worst.
The girlfriend uploads a second video defending the friend, saying that there was no ill intention as she just wasn't fully aware that the other friends had placed the camera at a certain angle.
Put a finger down if your boyfriend sent you a text that said he got the worst haircut of his life. So he sent a video and it looked no different than it did before. So you passed it on the phone as a joke because, again, it looked no different than it did before. And you passed it to your friend and she puts the phone a little lower because she didn't really know what was going on. And she didn't know that all of us put it at a higher angle. And then she was like, hey, dude, and everybody's hating on her, calling her a bop, and saying that she wants your man, even though she's never met him. And then it gets posted on Instagram Reels after you turn off the comments, and now she's getting hated on again, and all of the people who aren't hating on her are saying that they bet that your boyfriend went for her because she's just so much prettier. And so you're getting called basically ugly, and she's getting called a bop, and all of these insults, and it was all just a joke. It was all a joke. Just me.
Though we as the public don't have the full context, story, or knowledge of intention, we have no right to assume with such levels of confidence that the friend was malicious, and yet we see an abundance of hate being targeted towards the girl anyway. Non-monogamous individuals frequently emphasize that the overcoming of jealousy is an important lesson to learn, and that includes within romantic relationships. Furthermore, it is underlined that jealousy can be managed through effective communication and emotional maturity. By addressing feelings of jealousy openly and head-on, partners can build stronger, more resilient relationships. Negative past experiences with cheating can also dictate one's feeling towards non-monogamous relationships. This includes Reddit stories of partners being pressured into non-monogamous relationships that have greatly affected public opinion. Let me be clear. An ethical non-monogamous relationship demands the enthusiastic consent of all partners involved. Cheating, which includes secrecy and betrayal, can cause deep emotional wounds. As a result, some people conflate ethical non-monogamy with infidelity, failing to recognize the fundamental difference between the two. It is important for online masses to be able to think for themselves rather than following all the comments under a TikTok AI read Reddit post with Subway Surfer playthrough, dictating non-monogamy as invalid because the partners mentioned in these stories are not practicing it correctly. They are dealing with cheaters and toxic partners, not ethical non-monogamists. It is also important to be able to come across these stories and be able to recognize that with the skill of critical thinking. If a poster details their partner pressuring them into an open relationship, then it should be very easy to determine that the partner is effectively engaging in cheating. It is unwise and detrimental to see a post that mentions non-monogamy and decide it is immoral or invalid because firstly, the person in the post is not exercising properly, and secondly, because you yourself would never participate, whether due to genuine personal disinterest or a stubbornness to remain with jealousy and control. Some people have also given the excuse that polyamorous or open relationships never work. Monogamous relationships never work either. Around 50% of marriages end in divorce. Almost all monogamous relationships fostered before marriage end in a breakup. The masses are not sitting online shaming all those participating in monogamous relationships because it doesn't matter. Once again, the framework of a relationship is only the business of those in it. Polyamory and ethical non-monogamy should not be stigmatized when practiced properly, as they are transparent and consensual relationships that only concern the parties involved. The negative perception of these practices often stem from narrow-mindedness, jealousy, and past experience from cheating. By fostering openness, understand, and respect for diverse relationship models, society can move towards a more accepting and inclusive view of love and partnership. Not one dictated by provocateurs and comment in the comment section under a clip online. It is time to challenge the stigma and recognize that non-monogamy, like any other relationship style, can be healthy, fulfilling, and deeply meaningful.